title of the research work is an assessment of the impact of CBN post-COVID-19 stimulus packages on the economic sustainability of SMEs in selected cities in Nigeria. Researchers were myself, Johnson I. Okoh, the principal investigator. Others were Adama Kozigbo, co-researcher, Onyemuche Okparaduru John, co-researcher, and Timothy Ayomide Aderemi, co-researcher. Now, the research problem and objectives. SMEs in Nigeria were hit hardest by COVID-19 disruptions, especially in Lagos, Ogun State, and FCT, designated as COVID-19 epicenters of Nigeria. Despite their vital role in employment and GDP, many SMEs faced operational collapse. The CBN therefore introduced Targeted Credit Facility, TCF, to cushion the impact of the COVID-19, but its effectiveness remains under research. This study evaluated whether TCF supports translated into real economic recovery for SMEs, focusing on its profitability and inventory. By way of our research objectives was to assess the economic impact of CBN post-COVID-19 stimulus packages on the sustainability of SMEs in the selected cities in Nigeria, that is, the epicenters. The specific objectives were: 1, to examine the impact of the CBN Targeted Credit Facility, TCF, on the profitability of SMEs after the COVID-19 lockdown in the cities selected in Nigeria. And 2, to assess the impact of the TCF on the stock of goods, that's the inventory of SMEs post-COVID-19 lockdown in the selected cities in Nigeria. By way of the methodology adopted, the design was purely survey research design with a sample size of 600 SMEs. 568 valid responses were drawn from Lagos, Ogun State, and Abuja. The study adopted simple sampling technique, which was the purposive, and the instrument utilized was structured questionnaire. The analytical tools adopted were descriptive statistics and multiple regression analysis, which utilized profitability and inventory as dependent variables. Now, our key findings. The key findings were that there was a significant and positive relationship between the TCF access and SME profitability. And 2, SMEs that benefited from the stimulus packages showed improved inventory levels. And thirdly, the features of the TCF were low interest rate, single digit, flexible repayment, and minimal collateral drove the effectiveness. However, the informal SMEs remain largely excluded due to their unawareness and access constraints. The implications and application of this study were that CBN stimulus packages had real impact but lacked inclusivity. The study suggested institutionalizing such interventions beyond emergencies. The study equally recommended expanding financial literacy and access for informal SMEs, and the findings were equally applicable to broader African economies with similar SME challenges. Now, the innovative contributions. The study is among the first post-COVID-19 empirical studies that focus on Nigeria's economic epicenters. The study utilized sustainable indicators by way of profitability and inventory for practical relevance. The study also generated policy relevance with evidence to guide future SME support schemes. And finally, the study offers a replicable model for evaluating economic stimulus outcomes in developing economies.